Well, hey, Kings Hill family. I hope you're doing well this week. I hope you're enjoying the sunshine. We've got some amazing rays pouring through this window right here. Today, I wanted to talk about a super exciting topic, burdens. I just get this sense in my own heart and in conversations I'm having with others that any kind of novelty for this quarantine situation we find ourselves in, any novelty has worn off. Any sense of an interesting change of circumstance, that's just worn off. If that ever was there in the first place, because I know, I have friends, we have people in our family who are in the healthcare world, and this season hasn't brought with them like decreased time or a different job situation. It's actually increased their workload and increased kind of the severity and the risk of their jobs. And so when I think about the word burdens, I just imagine that a lot of us are really feeling the weight of being stuck inside for a very long time. And I'm given a lot of comfort by a couple of verses, and one of them is Psalm 55, verse 22, and the New Living Translation says, "Give your burdens to the Lord, and he will care for you." And I take so much encouragement from that, because what it doesn't say, what the book doesn't say, what the Bible doesn't say in verses like that is hide your burden, or deny your burden, or pretend your burden doesn't exist, or stuff it away. It says give your burden to the Lord, and that takes a few things. One, it takes you being aware of your burden, you being able to articulate that burden so that you can give it to the Lord. I think all throughout the New Testament and in the Gospels, there's several occasions of Jesus either being approached or approaching someone who's sick. And sometimes it'll be a blind person, and Jesus will say, "What do you want me to do for you?" And I always find that so indicative of the nature of Jesus. He knows what the person needs better than that person does. But when Jesus is doing that, he's demonstrating the power of being able to name specifically what it is the sick person needs Jesus to do. There's something particular about being able to name what you want Jesus to do. And so when I think about giving our burdens to God, I think that means we have to be comfortable with articulating them. And that means not trying to stuff them or push them away or deny them. And I think about any good parent when a child has hurt themselves and they come running inside from outside, "I'm hurt, I'm hurt, I'm hurt." And a good parent says, "Tell me where it hurts." Right? There's something about naming specifically, it hurts there. And I think that's what the author of Psalms has in mind when he says, give your burdens to the Lord and he will care for you. Because you can't watch the Lord care for you if you aren't going to be honest about your burdens. You can't watch the Lord relieve that if you can't articulate it. So that means being okay identifying your burdens and being honest about what is hard. That's the first verse of Psalm 55. But the other verse is Galatians 6:2, which says, "Bear one another's burdens." So it's very clear that we're supposed to first take our burdens to God, but then we're supposed to take our burdens to other brothers and sisters in the church. And I just would urge us in a time where you might be prone to isolation, that we can't pretend that things are okay. We can't pretend or try to hide what is hard. We can't stuff our feelings. We have to be able to articulate them. And that might take time. And that's okay. It might be uncomfortable. I mean, I feel like I see it so often repeated with interactions I have when people are prone to cry, they want to hide it. Or we don't want to be seen crying. Or there's just something about that level of vulnerability that makes us uncomfortable. But the Bible is very clear that we have to be able to articulate our burden, give it to God, and be able to articulate our burdens and give them to our brothers and sisters so that we can share them together.